RCV, however, would require that we repeal the Denver Charter requirement that the mayor, auditor, clerk, and district council members must be elected by a majority of votes cast. In fact, the draft ordinance that was presented for our consideration literally struck out that section of each office holder's charter section, struck out the requirement that you must be elected by a majority. As you can see in some of the research I presented under these sub-bullets, of 26 RCV decided races in San Francisco for supervisor, which is their version of city council, all but one failed to achieve a true majority. All of them, except for one, never hit 50%. In the most extreme case, there was a candidate for a supervisor seat who was named on only 21.1% of the ballots, and most of them were second or third choices. And that candidate took that seat with only 21% of the vote. All 6 mayoral contests in San Francisco, Oakland, and Minneapolis that resorted to RCV, not all of them did, sometimes they won outright on the first round, but all 6 mayoral races that were decided by RCV failed to yield a majority winner. One reached only 48.5% at the end of 33 rounds of counting from those ballots. The problem basically is ballot exhaustion, which disenfranchises voters who don't rank all the candidates. As I mentioned, in some of the systems that are recommended, you can only rank 3, no matter how many are running. If you don't rank any of the 3 that remain at the end, it is as though you didn't vote at all. You don't count in the final denominator, those numbers are taken out. In that San Francisco election I mentioned, 3 out of every 5 voters for that supervisor seat were not counted in the final tally. 60% of the votes did not count. I can't imagine electing a mayor of Denver with 60% of the ballots that were actually cast not being counted. So when we see the literature on RCV, it is very, very effective in highly partisan contests because it neutralizes what they call the spoiler effect in plurality contests. Typically, RCV is adopted by jurisdictions that are going from a pure plurality election model, which is whoever gets the most votes wins, no matter if 10 candidates run and the winner got only 15%. That's not a good system. That's the one we changed from back in 1913. We don't want to go back to that. So if RCV had been in use in Florida in 2000, most people think that Al Gore would have been president because people who voted for Nader as their favorite choice might have opted for Al Gore as their second choice. We'll never know. On the other hand, in 1992, George H.W. Bush might have won a second term if the nation had used RCV and people who voted for Ross Perot could have chosen George H.W. Bush as their second choice. Bill Clinton never would have been president. So when you have high extremes in highly partisan races, RCV is a very good tool to look at. Municipal elections in Colorado, most of municipal elections in Colorado, not all, but most of them are nonpartisan, like ours, and they're neighborhood level. And we don't really have that spoiler effect that RCV is seeking to solve.